One of the most divisive units in the game, in the community, LR Ultimate Beast Gohan, right? Whatever you want to call him personally. And I think that there is this like stigma where people think that, oh, he's actually bad. He's a disappointing release, I would still say, because he wasn't actually Beast Gohan. That doesn't have anything to do with his actual strength. I think he's been getting quite a lot of help in the past few months with like linking partners, units that'll make him look, really really strong based on how his passive is activated essentially, right? And how it multiplies against each other. And I do think this guy is still really strong. I would honestly argue that any unit in like top 50 range is really really good in difficult content at this point, because we haven't really had a push in the difficulty, right? But I feel like some people have this mindset like around, I started around the 7th anniversary, where it's like, oh, basically the top 10 units can really crush like red zone cap content. But that's not the case anymore. Like top 50, even like top 70 units could pretty much easily crush a lot of this red zone content. But I think people are still stuck in that mindset that, oh, if you're not in top 10, you're pretty garbage. And that is not the case with this guy. I mean, I feel like that's always been a thing in the community, right? Even before the 7th anniversary, but especially recently, I feel like even as more and more units get good, more and more people kind of underrate some of these releases. Now, I personally am still not a really big fan of those Ultimate Gohan. Um, I feel like you do need to build the team a certain way around him, and even then, it's like he looks good, but you probably could, at least in the past, have had a better setup, right? But now I feel like there's enough top tier options for him to actually, really, really look great. This 23rd World Tournament Goku, setup. We have Bulma, providing off-turn support really good for him. Yajirobe providing this off-turn support for him. Kai Goku is probably like the best thing like that released for this Ultimate Gohan. I feel like having a really strong 5-link partner, that helps him quite a lot. Bulma's an orb changer, right? I think that this team, I talked with 2 of the like bigger hybrid Saiyan Ultimate Gohan fans right now, Future Dokkan and Alan Dokkan, and they agree that this is probably one of his best setups. So we're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna go to Meta Cooler Core, 1 maybe 2 rounds if the rotations are really bad. This is okay, I guess, right? I guess the issue is that you would prefer to get Ultimate Gohan in the second rotation, right? Just because Ultimate Gohan does have his guard ability that lasts for only 3 turns. So it is what it is. We're just going to go on as it is. We're going to see how things work out. Luckily, the 23rd World Tournament Gokus don't really need ki. But yeah, again, we got pretty good ki right here, thank goodness. But in a lot of situations, we could have really missed out on a lot of ki. This guy wants to hit 20 ki, which luckily we're able to get here. But if only had Saint Lineage, that would have been really, really good. This is before we're able to get any off-turn support or any other like abilities like that, right? So we're going to want to take the 4 hits with the GT Duo. I think that is what we want to try and accomplish here. In order to get the revive. We'll use the revive on turn 4 so we can get this Goku's guard ability active. And yeah, it's like, it feels like at that point, it's like, oh, we're kind of making this the 23rd World Tournament Goku show, but this is kind of what we have to do in order to make this team really function. And I think one criticism you could say is that Ultimate Gohan is like, you could use him on this setup, right? But this team specific, I think, really revolves around the 23rd World Tournament Goku in a sense. He's like, you want him to be like a slot 1 kind of unit for you. Like kind of how Vegeta and Trunks is for their teams. You want to try and get this in 23rd World Tournament Goku as passive as soon as possible. So that you could allow him to put him in slot 1. And then he's like, but like once you're revived, he's by far the best slot 1 unit in the game, right? He's like over like 1.2 mil defense with guard, and he has nullification. So yeah, I will risk and do this. I think that should be okay. So we'll grab this. We can get 8 orbs with Bulma. That's good. And then we'll grab this with you. So now we have the off-turn support, which will be really, really helpful. We debuffed the Metacooler army by like, what, 3 or 4 super attacks last turn. So yeah, no issues there getting the GT Duo there 4 attacks. So now we could just instantly use the revive skill. That's one thing I like about like how the GT Duo could work with the 23rd World Tournament Goku as well, by the way. Him debuffing early on will allow them to take more attacks even before their damage reduction is built up. The debuffs do matter because I feel like, let's think about it, like Broly could be like stunned and stuff like that. Well, he could be stealed as well, which will help this unit. Let's see, Metacooler right here could be debuffed. The Sin Shenron could be debuffed. Even Omega Shenron could be debuffed. And those are like 4 of the like harder events in the game. There's the Cell Max Red Zone, and I think there is the Cell Max boss event. Both of them can't be debuffed early on. But I think they're kind of different like styles of events, right? Where you can't really stall in those events as much as you can in like, you know, these red zone stages. You're pretty much thrown into the ring like immediately. Cell Max is like turn 3, you get to the tech phase, maybe turn 4 if you're able to stall. It's a little harder to stall there. And then if we think about the Cell Max red zone, you're just kind of thrown into the ring instantly. You get super you 3 times, turn 1. No chance to build up with a lot of these units, right? Okay. So now we have this rotation. I'm tempted to keep Yajirobe. Honestly, I might keep Yajirobe here. It'll be risky, but I think I will keep Yajirobe. So perfect. We can get a little more build up here with Ultimate Gohan. We're not going to get the 50% support, but now he's supported here. We're missing out on a lot of links, so I'm not going to really discount like his ability. Like, oh, you know, his defense is not that high or anything. He wants to get a couple of super attacks off. I think it's 5 super attacks in total for him to get his full passive buff. So there's one right there. He's already at a 1.2 million attack. No, not 1.2. 12 million attack stat. My bad. Don't attack me, y'all. I'm tired. So there's one. Sweet, we got the 70% chance to proc right there. But keep in mind, next turn his intro buff is going to be worn off. And okay, that was it for there. Now we have Yajirobe coming in. Yajirobe, I don't think he would die. I assume not. He should be okay. The first hit might do a little bit of damage to him. Okay, no, we're good, actually. Sweet, 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 sweet. That's really, really nice to see. I was a little scared for Yajirobe there because he could easily have gotten demolished, but we're looking good there. Sweet, okay. So now, actually, I'm low-key, like, setting up a thumbnail for a video I'm uploading now. I'll try to, like, my cord is working. Last night, my cord was just, like, giving me terrible, just, like, it was so awful. But now we're good, right? We're cooking. We are definitely cooking here. Okay, well, it's not letting me set up the way I wanted it to, so it's fine. We got super attack there, by the way. That's pretty funny. So now I should be able to use the revive and stuff like that. So I think from here, I'll just skip this specific rotation. Hopefully we don't kill. I'm gonna try not to do as much damage as I can, but it's gonna be a little difficult here. So I think I'll skip this rotation and we'll come back once we have everything set up. Okay, so we got that killing bloke-ish kind of right there. Kai Goku is sealed. That's not a big deal. Okay, so we have Bulma's full support ability here. You could tell because Ultimate Gohan has the 3 key from Bulma, and then I think it's 1 key from Yajirobe right before Yajirobe picks up orbs. So Kai Goku again doesn't need a super here. We're gonna let all of this go to Ultimate Gohan here. So he's pretty much fully built up here. So he's starting up at what, 500k, 488k defense. He'll get 50% defense on his 18 key super attack, and then another 30% defense on each 12 key super attack he does. So that is around what, I'd say 240ish k defense, and then his 12 keys should give him about, I don't know, like 180k ish around there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll just see what he does. tons of support here. I would assume he still hits pretty hard. He'll be super effective against all types in this turn. So this should be looking good for him, right? And yeah, this is just a great setup for this guy. Ooh, Kaigo got the additional super nice. Okay, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So 16 mil, super effective against all types. Pretty good, right? I'll definitely take that. But we have what? Dang, how much support do we have on here? That's a lot, actually. 13 mil. His intro buff isn't up, but that's going to happen, I feel like, in a lot of these contents, right? Sin Shenron, his intro buff is not going to be up at the end. Cooler, sometimes, if you get him in turn 1, his intro buff is not going to be up at the end, right? But specifically this, right? Broly's intro buff is not going to be up at the end, but he will have the, like, nullification, right? Like, even in Sin, right, the first 2 phases, he will have nullification. I mean, yeah, that was good, right? I wouldn't say that's obviously that's not bad or anything, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's crazy, so good, right? I'm not, no, not really for me personally. I'm not like going insane over that performance. Like compared to like this guy, right? Where's that 900k defense with guard, and then he's doing what? Well, I mean, if he like quad supers, he would do more damage than like what Ultimate Gohan did last turn right there, I feel like, overall. But Ultimate Gohan, I feel like would technically do more damage on last turn, though he did have what 30% extra support, but then he wouldn't be able to live this, right? So it's like it's always like, it's always, how do I explain it, like circumstantial. It's not a good word for it. Like, it depends on the situation you have him on. Like, if you are able to set him up really good, like if he had his guard that previous turn and his intro buff, he would have looked really, really strong there. But in this situation, I couldn't get his intro buff with, you know, that specific setup, and you're not always gonna get that, right? I feel like he's a unit that you can kind of like clip, and then you're like, oh, you know, he's doing like 22 mil into a 15 mil into a 16, 17 mil, and then he's at like 1 mil defense with guard, and in that turn obviously he's really strong. In that turn he's like, we could probably even argue top 10 for sure. But I don't think that turn is like gonna be a really consistent thing to get, and these units are really, really good, so this is not an unrealistic, you know, team build at all. I mean, I know item this event, many people would argue this is the second hardest event in the game even. But it's like those turns that you see, it could all be decided on RNG. Maybe my orbs weren't really good. Bulma didn't rainbow orb change correctly, right? And that's bad RNG, right? Ultimate Gohan, maybe he didn't get the 70% chance and he just got the normal attack. And, you know, that does suck. Maybe I was on that turn, I got supered right in the middle slot and I could have died, right? There's circumstances to that. But I do think he's really, really good still. I do think that people underrate how good his performance is. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about him. I would honestly say maybe even the superhero team is still better setup for him, just so you can get his active skill, which does have the action break, which is really, really strong. That action break could come in clutch in a lot of different situations, especially for like the Meta Cooler Core fight. Because if you guys don't know, his countdown is like, he super attacks, right? And he has a countdown before he gets super attack you again. Let's say, for instance, if he doesn't super attack you for a turn, you know, it's very likely that his next attack will be like a super attack, right? Because that's how long his cooldown is. Or if he super attacks you at the end of a turn, then he can't super attack you the next turn because of how his, you know, attacks are. But then, you know, that'll make it probably more likely that'll just instantly super you. So if you get the action break with Ultimate Gohan and he breaks the first action, then you can kind of like get rid of that super attack, right? And there's been, I'm sure a lot of you experiences instances where the boss supers you, just frame one, he's like, nah, I'm killing you now, and then Ultimate Gohan could just be like, no, right? But yeah, it also gives him his full passive for the turn, which is really, really good. Let me know what y'all think though. Thanks y'all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.